I wish there was like a category on dating apps that was like casual, but not necessarily trying to yet. Don't whip that thing out. Don't whip that thing out. Keep down your pants.
Cuff my boob a little bit.
Yeah, like relax. I just met you. Sir.
Welcome back to And Just Like Yap, everybody. I am Andy.
I'm Caroline.
We are back with another Sex and the City original series recap, and we have a very special guest today that I'm so excited about. She is an incredible comedian here in Chicago, stand-up, sketch, improv, you name it. She's so talented, and we're so excited to have her. Welcome, Jillian Ebanks.
Hi.
Jillian, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you. Talk to us about your relationship with Sex and the City, how you started watching it.
Yeah, so I am a millennial 90s baby. So, you know, when I was younger, we did not have streaming. We had very few TVs in the house. So whatever was on Sunday night that my parents were watching was what I watched. And my mom watched Sex and the City. And so if she was watching Sex and the City and I wanted to be in the living room on Sunday nights, I was also watching Sex and the City. So, yeah, so my relationship was watching it with my mom, like not on purpose. And I wasn't probably supposed to. And she was kind of very conscious of the fact that I was like 10, 11, 12.
Sure.
But it was kind of like just on. But, you know, I had parents who never censored me. Like,
amazing.
Yeah, like if there was a sex scene, my dad might cover my eyes and then we'd go back to watching the show. But I watched adult shows from when I was a child. So yeah, and then when I became an adult and I remember graduating from college, I like binged it.
Was it a different experience watching it after college as opposed to watching it when you were younger and like in the room when like maybe you shouldn't have been?
Yeah, because when I was younger, I don't even think I understood what was happening. Like,
Sure.
It's called Sex and the City. I don't even know what sex is.
Yeah.
And then watching it as an adult, even when I first graduated college, I feel like I watched it for entertainment, but watching it now as someone who's in her 30s and is the age of the characters, now it hits even like more different. But I had no idea before.
And now we know too much. We know too much now.
I was watching all those, like, I was watching The Sopranos with my parents, like just whatever they had on. Like, no, there was no reason for me to be watching Soul Food. And, like, anyways.
Okay, throughout the universe, the TV show, it could be out core 4, not core 4, the movies, and just like that, who do you feel like you relate to the most?
I'm a combo. There's a creative part of me that feels very Carrie in terms of like the writer that like uses their dating life as inspiration and works through all of their dating woes via their artistic medium. But I think dating wise, I'm a Miranda.
Oh, no.
I think I'm so Miranda. And I think the moment I knew was watching the movie when her and Steve are having sex, and she's like, just get it over with already. And I was like, is that me?
And it's funny we bring up the movie in the episode we're about to talk about is that she has a crazy bush in that movie.
Yes, she does. She does. I think there's a part of Miranda that is a hopeless romantic, and I am too, but I'm very cynical. And I feel like dating has made me very cynical, and like the share of like heartbreak or just like the lack of successful and good dating has made me so just like, love isn't real. But then like you're also secretly like, you know, but then like she's still very romantic in her heart, you know what I mean? And so
yeah.
I think that I relate much more to that versus like a Charlotte, who I feel like is very openly like fairy tale wants, and I don't feel like I'm as like free as Samantha. And I definitely feel like I have a little bit more boundaries compared to Carrie. Like, there's no world where Big would be able to be like back and forth with me like that. Like, I would have left like so early. You know what I mean? Like, so I just think, or at least I think, TBD. We'll see if people circle the block on me in a few years. I might be a Carrie, but.
So Jillian has chosen episode 12 of season 6, which is called One. It is our first Alexander Petrovsky episode that we're covering. I'm very excited about that. Jillian, what made you pick this episode in particular?
I picked this episode because it was a core memory for me. And I also feel like this is the first season of Sex and the City that I remember watching. Like, I watched it before, but this is the first season that I retained what I was watching and understood. It also came out in like September. And so it was early in the school year, and I remember watching this episode and going to school the next day. And we used to line up in front of the school before we went into homeroom. And one of my good friends, who's still one of my good friends to this day, Nina, we were like talking, and she's like, "Hey, do you watch Sex and the City with your mom?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "They showed a bush." And we both like cackled. We were like, "They showed a vagina."
I love that, like, the two of you being like, we're going to be friends forever.
Yes. And we both were so embarrassed. Like, I can't believe it. And then I saw it with my mom, and then it was on the TV, and then my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, there's a bush." And I should say, like, I grew up in New Jersey. I went to public school. I actually was very fortunate for a very comprehensive sexual education. Like, we were in 6th and 7th grade, and they were showing us teen pregnancy birth videos.
Oh,
which
God,
is
yeah.
horrifying. If you can imagine being in 7th grade and watching a 14-year-old give birth and them showing it. But it's so different in health class versus, like, the Sex and the City and, like, it being dyed. And so it wasn't, I'm sure I had seen a vagina before, but it was just like, yeah, I was with my mom.
I feel like the, like, East Coast education system's way of, like, combating the fact HBO was starting to show nudity was to, like, really do, like, scared straight shit in health class.
Yeah. Well, I'm from the South. We had plastic babies that we had to carry around in health class.
I had a baby.
I'm not alone.
That cried. And that baby would not stop crying. And my mother, because it was in my bedroom crying. And I remember my mother getting up in the middle of the night, taking the baby and throwing it behind the couch. And she was like, "We're not having sex anyway. Like, I don't care. Like, I know this is to prove a point, but, like, this baby's keeping me up. And I tell you what, you're not bringing a baby in this house anyway, so it don't matter." I think she was very like,
oh my God.
we're pro-choice in this house anyway, so.
I love the picture of your mother, Jillian, that I'm getting to meet now.
She's great.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
She is wonderful. She's wonderful. And I am, like, so grateful that her and my dad did not, like, really censor us, because it also exposed me to things to where, like, I was curious about sex, but I wasn't, because I would, like, see things. It was like, she didn't need to tell me that teen pregnancy was bad, because I could see that, you know? Like,
yeah.
And I didn't want a baby. They just, health class made me, but I was like, I don't want this baby. Like, I don't want this baby.
Who wants to go to student council and, like, any of your sports and then have it go home to a child? Like, that's just terrible.
Not. I still don't want that.
I know.
I remember my friend, so we had to take the baby, and I remember my friend took the baby out, and it's a fake baby, but this woman didn't know and saw her and was like, "Wow, you're way too young to have a baby."
Oh, no.
My poor friend Casey was like, "It's not even real."
Let's get into the episode. The episode opens with Carrie and Charlotte heading into a gallery in Chelsea, and they're talking about how they heard that there was a woman in Chelsea who was not eating and not sleeping, or I forget what else they say exactly, but, you know, there's a woman in Chelsea doing something weird, so we were there in a New York minute. Turns out we are at an art gallery, and this artist is doing some performance art. Now, were y'all aware that this was based on an actual real piece of performance art by Marina Abramovic? But I didn't realize that it was, like, almost exactly, like, they just basically built a replica of this performance art.
I think I had read they asked her to do it and she turned it down. So then they
Really?
cast someone else. Yeah, so then they, like, cast someone else for her.
I see. I didn't realize that. But yeah, so this was a real piece of performance art by Marina Abramovic called The House with the Ocean View.
Is she also the one that did the thing with her ex-boyfriend or ex-husband where they stared at each other? Or is that a different person?
No, that's her. That was The Artist is Present, where she sat and just, like, silently let people come sit across from her at a table for a really long time. And then, like, the big dramatic moment was one of her exes, who she used to do performance art with, sat down across from her, and they had this, like, very powerful wordless exchange. Charlotte is reading the program for this and is saying, like, this woman, like the artist, like she wants to shift the energy of this space so that she can shift the energy of the world. And Carrie, of course, is like, oh, cool. Where are we going to lunch?
I know.
She doesn't give a shit. She doesn't care at all. How do y'all feel about this scene? Like, and how do you feel in general about, like, I don't know, modern art and the experience of going to see it?
I'm so Carrie with this. Like, well, I didn't even know this was a real thing, and I didn't know this was even the artist name you said. I don't even know this artist. Like, and so I mean, I love my share of museums and stuff, but I definitely feel like there are people, like my sister is very into art and we go to museums and she will like get everything, the metaphors, and I'm like, oh, that's what that was. Okay. And brunch? like I'm so Carrie. Like, I like art, but I don't like, like I'm like very surface level with it, if I'm honest. But occasionally I see a piece where I'm like, gotta have it, but
yeah, no, I hear you. I totally hear you. Carrie and Charlotte are giggling, and this catches the eye of one Alexander Petrovsky, played by Mikhail Baryshnikov. This is the first time we see him in the series, and Carrie notices that he's staring at her, but when she gets Charlotte to turn around and look, he is gone. So this mysterious figure has disappeared. When they go out in the lobby, Carrie's like, oh, there he is. There's that guy again. And Charlotte is like beside herself because she recognizes who he is, because Charlotte comes from the art world and is so excited to meet him.
Also, Andy, that slide before, I love how not subtle they are both looking at him at the same time when she's like, take a look at the, and they both do the, like, that's how anyone in person, when you're trying to talk about it, and it, like, you want to be subtle, but you can't.
He asks, like, how does y'all feel about what you just saw? And, of course, Charlotte, like, tells him what she thinks he wants to hear, that she thought it was very moving and significant. And I love this, Carrie. It's good. Like, she doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. I love how so much of her, like, how so herself she is, though, in this episode.
Yes.
Like, I did appreciate that she was just like, she's like, I'm not going to pretend like I like this for the sake of you.
It's so true. She's wacky in this episode. Like, she's full goofy Carrie in this episode. He's like, I heard you were laughing. And she admits, like, I'm not very arty. And as you just said, Caroline, she's like, this is so funny. Like, Carrie goes into her whole, like, tight five about this museum exhibit, and she's just sitting there looking lonely. It's like an average Friday night waiting for some guy to call. I bet she's not even up there at 3 a.m. She's around the corner having a Big Mac, and Alexander is very charmed by this, and then of course says, you are a comic.
Just the banter is so spicy between them. It's really, like, you feel the electricity of their chemistry. It's really, I don't know, he's one of the few, like, maybe, like, Big, that matches her sort of intellect when it comes to banter.
That's true. That's a good point. Jillian, have you ever had a situation as someone who is a stand-up, like, either on a date or in just, like, a social situation where somebody is like, oh, you must be a comedian, like, or like, I don't know, treating you weirdly because you're a stand-up comedian or expecting jokes?
Yeah. Or I mean, like, or even just like, you're funny, and I'm like, oh, thanks, that's the highest compliment you could pay me. It's my job. It's my job. It varies by if they know too, because if they say I'm funny and they don't know I'm a comedian, then I'm like,
that's a. Yeah. I went on a date with a guy where I made the mistake of telling him that I did comedy stuff before that. And when we played trivia, and he's like, well, you got to come up with a funny name because you're funny. You have to come up with that. I was like, I already wanted to leave, like, once that started.
No, I hate that. Yeah, so Charlotte is still freaking out that they met Alexander Petrovsky, and I love this. Like, it occurred to me watching this, we don't get to hear Carrie do, like, I don't know, impressions very often. Yeah. It's just not one of these things, which I just thought it was really funny that her response, she is completely confused by this man, and is just like, you are a comic.
You're a comic.
I love her delivery of that. We head to Miranda's apartment where this is the moment where Miranda is dating Dr. Robert Leeds. We have a lot of moments in Sex and the City, especially coming from Carrie, where she's greeting somebody at the door with food or specifically a pizza. And, like, Carrie Carrie can't do it. Are we Dr. Robert Leeds fans here?
Yes. It makes me... finally got a fine black man on the show. A pizza and a cookie?
And he's a sports doctor for the Knicks?
Okay, first of all, this is my dream, man. Like,
I know.
This is my dream, man. You brought me a pizza and dessert.
That's thinking ahead. That's thinking ahead.
And she lives in the same building, so it's not like there's any commute.
So convenient.
He comes up to her building, or like her apartment.
And Miranda, she really ends up treating him badly in the end. But
I know,
man, I
but
love
she
him.
looks so good here. This is the best that she looks. Like Miranda,
I know.
They figure out.
Find out that there is a surprise in the small box after the pizza, but then Robert gets called away because I love this. What is a 6'8" pro basketball star doing on a skateboard? As we are currently in the middle of NBA playoffs, who in the current NBA would like in?
Yeah, no, definitely someone on OKC would be on a skateboard.
Tried to do an ollie out for the season.
Like
SGA, what are you doing at the half pipe?
And then doing a full-on TikTok on the skateboard. Like,
And then they're talking about it on Inside the NBA, and Charles and Shaq are taking it to pieces.
This is why I need to date a basketball doctor who's just as into it as me, because for whatever reason I keep dating men that don't like basketball, and I don't.
Which I just saw Love and Basketball, speaking up for the first time last year, and I love. It is a perfect movie.
It is a great movie.
Okay,
it's a great movie.
Okay. The younger generation tries to call it a horror film, but like for us millennials that grew up with that film, like it is. I know that movie front to back. Like I love that movie. I love that movie.
Like the end when they're let's go for round 2. I'm just like kicking my
I'll play you for your heart. Double or nothing.
Why does the younger generation think it's a horror film?
Because they're like, he dunked on her. Why did he even make her play her for her heart? And
okay, well,
and he cheated on her, and I'm like, you guys are too literal. These are adult fairy tales.
I know.
Like, yeah,
it's Love and Basketball. Of course, he played her for her heart. It's a basketball movie,
and it's in quarters, like a basketball game.
Yes.
Come on, guys, get it together. And then the little baby at the end. It's.
But anyway, Robert Leeds has to go deal with his injured basketball player, but he leaves behind the cookie, which Miranda opens, and it says in chocolate chips, I love you. Now, how do we feel about this? I am of two minds because I'm like, this is very sweet, but I also find it weird that I know he had to go because of work, but I'm like, you knew what was on the cookie. You didn't want to like real quick stay and see what her reaction was, or like maybe take it with you so that you can like address it at another time. How do we feel about the cookie?
Yes, I think the issue becomes that he left with, like, it's weird now because she opens it up and he's not there.
Yeah.
So now she's just left to like unpack this. I would have loved to see like him open it, show it to her, and then maybe then he gets the call. So like she doesn't get to say it because he has to leave. But like, I don't know. It just was, it was weird because in theory it's really cute.
Yeah, it is. How would you feel, Jillian, if somebody expressed their love to you on a cookie like this? Would you be pleased?
I love dessert. So, you know, I think I would be pleased. But I don't know. It's never happened. Like, I've never had it with dessert. But I think I would be pleased because I love dessert. And I feel like, you got me something sweet. Well, you're sweet. But I would need them to be there. Like, I can't open it by myself.
I hear you. I agree with that. Caroline, thoughts?
Yeah, and I love a dessert, and especially when Miranda eats all of it in a second, I was like, oh, that's me after I've had like 5 milligrams. I would eat this whole cookie by myself.
Oh, yeah.
It would be gone. This is akin to like opening a gift that it feels like you have to have a performance of the right reaction. So I think I would have a little performance anxiety about receiving the cookie, rather than just him telling me he loves me.
Yeah, Miranda can't deal, and she starts chomping on the whole thing.
I guess it depends on too if I love the person.
Yeah,
exactly.
that too.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, I get very cringe. So like, there's a world where this happens to me, and my secondhand embarrassment and cringe is like, I want to die right now.
Yeah.
Like I can actually see it.
Yeah.
And this is where I feel
totally
like
get that.
Miranda, because if the wrong person gave me this cookie, I don't even know if I could eat it. It'd be in the truck. I'd be like, no,
No, I hear you. I totally hear you. The idea of certain gestures like really gets me fired up. And then like the few times things like that have happened to me in real life, I'm like, oh, ew, what? No.
Yeah.
So it does depend.
It's like when a guy says they want to make love to you. Like those two words together, and immediately I'm like, I know, now I don't want to have sex. Like, I absolutely, like, don't say those two words together, please.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I can't even hear it.
Let's make love.
Yeah, full body cringe. I can't stand it. Miranda is reporting back to Carrie and is like, the reason I ate the whole thing is because if I wasn't there, I didn't have to deal with it. I mean, that sounds like a therapized woman to me. Like, well done recognizing why you do things. And Carrie's like, well, is it because he said I love you, or is it because of the way he said it on a cookie? And Miranda's like, it had to just be the cookie, right? It's not like the sentiment made me uncomfortable. And Carrie's like, I mean, I hate to be the one to tell you, but like Robert is perfect. And she's not wrong. This is like absolutely 100% one of the most high quality people Miranda has ever dated. And it turns out we are getting ready for Brady's first birthday. And I had to include this shot because I feel like this is one of the like verbal tics over the years. Like, I have definitely used this Carrie line, like, anytime, like, some sort of, like, I don't know, milestone in life is coming up, and, like, yet I haven't aged a day. Like, I'm obnoxious. Like, I've definitely pulled this from Carrie's lexicon and adopted it as my own. But yeah, Brady's about to be 1.
Oh, Brady.
Yeah, so Carrie is like, by the way, please don't have a clown at Brady's birthday party. Nothing is scarier than a clown. I don't love clowns. Do we have strong opinions about clowns in the group?
You know, I have issues with them because it feels very cosplay. They have an afro and they like enlarging their nose.
Yeah,
that's
and
bad.
I'm starting to be like,
where do they come from?
Did they come from minstrel shows? I don't know.
You might be right.
You probably
I never thought about that.
This is when you're on the woke side of Twitter. So I don't do clowns unless it's Damon Wayans as Homie the Clown.
That's fair. I think the reason why I hate clowns is because the doctor was dressed as a clown that I got my kindergarten shots. And I transferred my fear of shots to the clown.
Your doctor dressed up as a clown?
Whoever did the, like, shots, like, they were, like, a clown, or there was a clown present where I got my kindergarten shots.
I think you might need to, like, check to see if you're appropriately vaccinated.
I am! I'm from North Carolina!
That's wild. We head to brunch, and Samantha now has reading glasses, and she has decided that her mantra for not feeling self-conscious about them is that she has a hot, sexy young man who loves to fuck me, and I'm fabulous.
Amen.
Good for you. Good for you. Carrie starts to make fun of her by asking if they're drugstore readers, and I love this. How dare you? These are Chanel. Carrie mentions Alexander Petrovsky, and Samantha immediately gets very, very aroused thinking about him because apparently he was the it guy of Studio 54. Caroline wanted to, speaking of Studio 54, Caroline wanted to talk to us about this image.
Okay, so my Aunt Lee and my mom, they both lived in New York at different periods, but my Aunt Lee was older than my mom. And so I think this came up like a year or two ago. This iconic image of Diana Ross, my Aunt Lee is over her left shoulder in this photo in Studio 54. That's her with, like, the bun.
That's crazy. That's so wild.
I know.
Carrie is like, Alexander Petrovsky was, like, kind of weird, TBH. Samantha does the math and realizes that he's probably, like, 53, which then the girls are like, which makes you, and she was like, I am 40-fucking-5. I have nothing to hide. I have to say, as someone who's 36 and is, like, creeping ever closer to Samantha's age, the many ways in which this show has shaped my life and made me feel like a valid person, I'm like, you know what? Samantha Jones, I'm not even near Samantha's age yet, and I can be okay with the fact that I'm 36 because I still have my Samantha Jones years to look forward to, although I will definitely not be living them in the manner that Samantha Jones lived her life, but you know what I mean. And it turns out, Charlotte arrives, and it turns out that she is pregnant, very newly pregnant, just about 3 weeks, but she is elated, of course, because this is, like, her dream. Samantha does the very Samantha thing of immediately scratching her crotch after hearing this news. Oh, boy. Alexander Petrovsky decides to call Carrie. Okay, now might be a good time. I know how Caroline feels about Alexander Petrovsky. Jillian, how do you feel about him as far as, like, do you think he's hot? Like, what are your thoughts?
Okay. So I am not into him, but it's because he's not my type, right?
I got
But
you.
like, I do like men with accents. I do like the things that he's doing. If he looked differently, I would be into it.
I got you. Okay,
That's fair.
cool.
That's fair.
I also am not the biggest fan of his personality. Like, I get the intrigue, but even in this first episode, I was like, she should have known.
Yeah.
She should have known.
Yeah.
But if his accent was maybe British or African, or Caribbean, I would be all over it. I would be all Latin. I'd be in it. Russian doesn't do it for me.
I would like him to throw me on that table. That table, I'm like, you can toss me on that. We gotta have a great time.
I go back and forth because the second I start thinking he's hot, then I like see a glimpse of his teeth and I'm like, he's too old.
Yes.
Oh no, just give it 20 minutes. When we get to the end of the episode.
I know.
Ugh.
But anyway, he calls Carrie. Carrie's very, very rude to him because, like, doesn't even give him the chance to introduce who it is on the phone. Like, this is kind of a shitty glimpse of Carrie, of, like, this is how she treats people who call her on the phone whose accent she can't understand. Like,
Yeah.
No.
Carrie.
Like, to do it multiple times, and you're like, Carrie, he didn't even say what he wanted. Relax.
He calls back. She once again is super, super rude to him. And finally he spits it out and is like, it's Alexander Petrovsky calling for Carrie Bradshaw. And she freaks out. And I love this. She pretends, she does the classic move of like pretending to go get Carrie as if somebody else answered the phone. That was my sister she's visiting. Mm-hmm. SJP plays this pretty well. Like, it's very funny. And I love this. He's so awkward. He's like, are you still laughing at that artist saying she eats all night Big Macs? And so he decides to invite her on a date so that they can go see her at 3 a.m. to see what she's up to.
God. You know what? I'll say also, I wish men would, like, ask us out on the phone. Yeah. This was, like, kind of hot, because it's, like, over text now. There's, like, no romance, no intrigue. It's, like, let's go to the bar at 8 p.m. Like, I like a nice phone call asking to go on a date. Like, that sort of, like, pomp and circumstance we're missing.
I do like phone calls. I struggle because it's, like, I've seen the show, and so I know where it ends. But I do think rewatching this initial episode, I'm like, I get it, and I get the intrigue, and I will say that, like, if someone asked me on a date the way he did, I would go and I would be excited because it's such a new, different, even if it was 1 a.m., I'd be like, yeah, let's go to dinner and see if this girl is eating a Big Mac or not. Like, that's what I said. Like, there's a version of him that I am very into. I just have blinders on because I like a specific type of man. And it's Blair Underwood.
It's Dr. Robert was calling
Dr. Robert.
Yeah.
It's Dr. Robert.
With Nick's tickets.
With Nick's tickets. Oh!
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
Hey, we're driving to Detroit. I'd be like, yes. When? We're driving to Cleveland? Minnesota? There's so many games so close to us right now. Oklahoma, I'm there. Please take me.
Oh my God. I want this for you, Jillian. I really do. Now we head to a very sad scene. This is like the saddest and most like broken down, I think, we ever see Charlotte in the series. Like, it's like very, very rare to see her in this frame of mind, and like just a testament to like Kristen Davis. I think people kind of count her out as an actress because Charlotte can kind of feel very one note a lot of the time, but like the way she handles this difficult episode, like, it's really pretty powerful. Meanwhile, back at Party Central, Miranda is finishing everything up and Robert is being very cute, helping her out with everything. And he decides to confront her about the cookie because Miranda hasn't said anything about it in 5 days, which is wild. Like, you can't just not address it at all.
Yeah, very avoidant. Which I'm not. Which I would have had to send him a text that night.
Because you don't want to be thinking about it. I wouldn't be able to sleep. Like,
and he's just so sweet. Like, hey, that cook. Like,
I know. So yeah, Miranda has not addressed it. And of course she does a horrible job of addressing it in the moment. It's like, I'm just embarrassed I ate the whole thing, but the thing that was written on it was just so sweet. And it's like, Miranda, you know what he's asking for, and you can't bring yourself. At the very least, can't you just say like, hey, I'm really not ready to like go there with you yet, but like we're on the way. Like she's so avoidant.
I've been there where I'm like, hey, I'm not there yet, or like, I don't want that, but I'm interested in exploring and see if it gets there. But like, you know, and like knowing like she has a 1-year-old with someone else, I'd be like, yeah, like, you know, it was very sweet, and I'm not there to say it yet, but hopefully soon.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like Samantha actually would have had the right response in this situation. I think Samantha's probably gotten a lot of I love you cookies from men that she wasn't wanting to get them from. And I think Samantha would have had the right response, like in this situation.
Of course, Miranda decides to watch Jules and Mimi, and it ruins her life because Jules and Mimi are confessing their love for each other. And Miranda's like, why can't I say the words? She calls Carrie and is like, I'm the most fucked up person ever. And says, everywhere I look, I love you is flying out of people's mouths. And of course, Carrie pushes back and is like, who? She's like, I know everybody you know. Who are you talking about? And she's like, Jules and Mimi. And she's like, well, they're fictional. And Carrie is very stuck on the fact that, like, it's okay if you feel weird about it, Miranda, because he said I love you on a cookie. Like, Carrie's not into the cookie, and thinks that is the problem. And Miranda, I remember watching this when I was like 14 and like feeling like this was very profound, of like Miranda saying, I always felt like when I found the person who was supposed to be my person, the words would just kind of fall right out of my mouth. How do you all feel about this? Because I feel like I had the same exact kind of thought that is kind of misguided, but like I remember having this thought of like, I'll know when it's the right person, and I'll know, like a little like red flashing light will go off and I'll be like, oh, it's time to say I love you. How do you two feel about this?
I kind of feel the same way though. Like, I feel like if you feel that way, it shouldn't be hard to say it. Yeah, because I feel like when people start saying things close to that to me and I'm not feeling it, I'm like, this doesn't.
It also depends on, I think, how fast they're saying it, and like, because is it love bombing? Because like they can express that to you very quickly, and you can feel like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to say I love you now, and then you sort of realize later, like, wait, I was in a tornado of emotions here. Did I actually, like, did they just sort of put that on me? So I think I don't know, it's a little more complicated now. Yeah. I think, like, because I feel like, I don't know, I've said it several times, like, I'm sure I'm going to say it several more in the future, maybe to the robot that's being built for me, that's my soulmate. Yeah. You know, the rate that we're headed to in society.
I say it to like my friends and my family a lot, but
yeah.
In a relationship form, it's like, so I don't know. But I also know scenarios where people do love people and don't say it. So like, and that's like a hiccup. So I think there's also this fear of like, saying it to someone, them not saying it back, even if they do, they feel that way because of their own boundaries or their own, and so I think it's just tricky. And you just hope that if you do say it, they say it back. Yeah. And feel the same way. But I do think, like, what would it have looked like if he said it to her in real life?
Because it's like, he's still not even saying I love you then to her in person, like going back and like then redoing the whole situation. He's just waiting for her to have a response. There's like a little bit of pressure to it.
Gosh.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't confront her to be like, hey, I said I love you. He's like, hey, remember that cookie?
Yeah, he's also dancing around it. Oh
yeah.
Good, because we have to know he's not perfect.
He's got to have a flaw.
He has to have
flaws. Yeah.
He must have one flaw. And Miranda, of course, jokingly is like, what used to make me feel better in these situations? Cookies. Carrie's typing away. The great philosopher of our time is asking, when will the waiting for the one be done? Carrie used to spend a lot more time on her laptop in the earlier seasons, and I feel like the little speeches used to be a lot more profound. This monologue was like kind of a dud. Like they just threw it in to be like, yeah, okay, whatever, Carrie.
Well, and I think it's like the one is such a loaded concept, which like they talk about in which was that season 4 or 5, where it's the like you get the two loves or the soulmate or the one.
Oh, the great loves, yeah.
Yeah, and I think I don't know. It's like the one. It's funny because they've like rehashed this already a little bit, but the one is I think it's so much pressure because I think you have like different loves for different versions of yourself at different, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there is that like hope that you find the one, but there are, you know, you have someone in your 20s and like you think they're the one, but they're not. And it's, you know, I don't know.
Okay. We've made it. We've made it, everyone.
We made it to why I picked this episode.
Samantha puts on her new glasses and realizes that she has found a gray hair, which I gotta say, at 45 years old to be noticing your first gray pubic hair, like you're I don't know, something in your genetic code has held on for a long time. Mm-hmm. She freaks out, decides she's not going to tweeze it, and instead gets a box of like crappy hair dye and has a very, very difficult time. And for the purposes of modesty on YouTube, I know that they had a merkin on her anyway, but you never know what YouTube is going to censor. So here's this nice little orange Scottish fold cat. I'm sorry.
That is worse than the merkin.
Anyway, I know you two both had things you wanted to discuss about this, so I'll move away from the Scottish fold so that we're not preoccupied.
It happened. I found my first one this week.
This week? Oh my god.
It was this week.
Wow.
And I was like,
you're watching this episode.
So let me preface this. This is probably TMI. I don't care. So I normally get sugared, which is like a form of waxing. Mm-hmm. And I get a Brazilian. I don't get a full Brazilian. I leave some there because I'm a grown-ass woman. But I get some of it gone. But I leave some of it there because I'm like, I'm not a child. And I go like every 5 to 6 weeks. But I am like in between jobs right now and I'm being frugal and I really need to save money because it's getting rough. So I was like, okay, I can't get, I was like, that's something I'm going to forego. But I personally wax my face and my underarms myself. I have a waxing kit that I use. And I was like, maybe I could give myself a Brazilian. Like, I've gotten them done a bunch. I already waxed the rest of my body. So I was like inspecting to see like, okay, realistically, how would this work? And could I do this? And then I was like, ah! And you know what? I plucked it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if 6 more come back. I plucked it because I didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
It was bad enough I have to see the hair and remember that I'm poor. I don't want to see gray hair to remember that I'm poor and old. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I thought I was going to have I thought I was going to have tried it, but I got my period yesterday, so we're just going to table this. We're just going to table this. But I do want to try to give myself a Brazilian, mainly because every person in my phone that I've texted, like, do you think I can give myself a Brazilian? They don't believe in me. And so now I want to prove them wrong. I'm like, I actually think I can. Except for my one friend, Jessica. Jessica said that I could, so shout out to her. She believes in me.
Thanks, Jessica.
That's a real friend. That's a true friend.
Yeah.
You tell your friend that they're limitless. They can do anything.
Maybe by the time this comes out, I'll have done my Brazilian to myself.
This is the most diabolical edit that I have ever seen on Sex in the City. The smash cut to the clown wig. I can't.
I cackled.
I know. It's like it's a pretty like shout out to whoever edited this episode. Like really excellent work. Steve's mother, of course, is at Brady's birthday party and Mira.
Yes.
Ben Stiller's mother,
Mom.
Is that right? Yeah. She's already like drinking her beer that she brought from home, and she's so excited that she got a clown for the party, even though there's no other children at the party other than Brady. And I just love this. He can open the door or something. I love it. And then I hope you're not insulted. I brought my own beer.
So funny.
This interaction, so Steve is currently dating Debbie because Steve and Miranda obviously aren't together because she's with Robert. God, this interaction. Debbie comes in and she immediately refers to Steve's mom as Ma, and you can tell how much Steve's mother loves Debbie.
Yeah.
And Miranda's watching this all go down, and like she hasn't yet figured out what's going on with her own emotions.
Yeah.
But this had to feel weird and bad, I assume. Carrie shows up, obviously without Charlotte, and Miranda is like, she will be okay. She just has to like get there on her own regarding Charlotte and the baby. Meanwhile, Charlotte is watching the True Hollywood Story of Elizabeth Taylor. It's just very funny to me that like this is what inspired Charlotte to move forward in her life.
And her dog's name is Elizabeth Taylor, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Do either of you have particular significant thoughts about Elizabeth Taylor?
I mean, she's a legend, and obviously she's the foundation for our current Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, J-Lo and Ben Affleck, who I think will be married again in the next 8 years, and I can't wait for their third marriage.
Probably right.
Oh, I put a
You're
Google alert in my
probably right.
phone. I had my calendar for 2034. I think they're going to be married again.
Is their divorce even official?
I know that they just settled their house, and Ben was like, J-Lo, Jennifer, take all the money for it. I was like, yeah, y'all are going to be, you're already fucking again. Like,
Yeah, like y'all are literally still together. I think I think y'all should stop getting married and y'all should just be together. I think you guys don't need to be married. This is my issue, Jill. I'm like, you don't need to marry them. Just be with them and then decide.
I know, but she took us to the Heart Factory, and in the Heart Factory, she made it all of our problem. Did y'all watch the Heart Factory?
Yes, and did you watch the documentary?
Yes! Yes!
Oh my God.
Speaking of someone who thinks they're going to find the one, like Jennifer Lopez is the person who thinks she's going to find the one, and it's incredible.
First of all, you guys should definitely review that. But like, watch the. But it's so funny because we were talking about my mom, and I watched that movie with my mom and sister, and like the love story movie, Andy, it opens, and she's like, as a little girl, whenever someone said like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said in love. Like that's what
Jesus.
my mom just to like understand the type of woman that raised me was like, oh brother, that's embarrassing. Like she was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, cause she's just so like, you gotta want more for yourself, honey. Like, and jokingly, me and my sister are both single. I'm like, and this is why we're never gonna get married because we don't believe in love. Well, my sister does. I don't. But that's not here or there. Also, my parents are divorced, so I blame them. But whenever someone's like, I'm like, you can blame my parents, okay? They divorced. I'm putting all my issues on them. Love them dearly, and they were very cordial. They had the most amicable divorce ever. Pissed me off even more. Cause y'all are nice. If you're this nice, you could have stayed married. You could have stayed married. If y'all are this nice to each other in divorce. Pissed me off.
Oh my God.
Anyways, we just went to therapy.
I feel really refreshed. I feel great. So Charlotte's having a moment, and she's feeling really inspired by Elizabeth Taylor surviving. I think it was some kind of like surgery they mentioned on the E! True Hollywood story. Carrie arrives and is very upset to see that there is a clown who is opening the door. And she repeats what she said earlier, nothing is scarier than a clown. The clown's face in the background as if he's offended by this. Samantha drags Carrie into the bathroom to tell her about what's going on with her bush. And I love this interaction. She says, I found a gray hair. And Carrie goes, in the food. And Carrie's like really not getting on board with this. She was like, Samantha, you're fine. You said it's all part of getting older. It's not a big deal.
Also, I was going to say, this is payback for Samantha yanking a diaphragm out of your vagina in the bathroom. So now you need to come back and be patient for this.
It's true. It's true. So Samantha's freaking out, and she's like, no, it's one thing if my eyes get old. Like, this can't get old. Nobody wants to fuck grandma's pussy. To which I'll say, I guarantee you, if you went on Pornhub right now, somebody does.
Someone wants to fuck grandma's pussy.
And I just love this. After Samantha says that, Carrie's reaction, this is a child's birthday party. Samantha's going to be Samantha no matter the context. And in order to finally convince Carrie, like, this is really, really bad, you don't understand the magnitude of the situation, she spits out, I'm Bozo the Bush, and then shows Carrie, and Carrie is horrified. Whoever decided this is the way that they wanted to frame the shot, like, kudos to you.
Incredible stuff.
Charlotte is stealing herself and decides to head out in this gorgeous ensemble. This is such a look.
Yes.
Yeah, she looks amazing. Strutting down the street. She's got her groove back. She's feeling good. Oh boy, this very loaded interaction between Miranda and Debbie, where Debbie's like, I'm so glad everything worked out because I really love Steve. Of course, like poor Debbie has no idea what's going on, doesn't know that like this is the exact wrong thing to say to Miranda in this moment. That really rattles her, and Robert, like, notices something's weird, something's off. Poor Robert.
Robert, who can read her. Ah!
I know. But we head into the laundry room with Steve and Miranda getting the cake ready, and this is just so funny to me. It's like, this is the moment that, like, finally broke you, Miranda. It's like dorky little Steve holding up this candle of, like, how about this candle I got at the bodega? Isn't it amazing? And of course, Miranda, the words do just fall out of her mouth because Steve is her one. He is her person. And at first you're like, oh God, this is going to be a disaster. And then Steve says, I love you too.
Aww.
How do you feel about Steve, Jillian?
You know, I like watching this episode, it made me go, oh, like this is what they were, because I feel like because the most recent things I've watched are like, and just like that, and they like totally changed who he was and have him going, what? Miranda! Like, you know, that I think I always liked Steve because I think there's like something beautiful about like just like someone, a simple man that just loves you back, you know, and wants to treat you good. And I think like even like all the stuff with like her getting pregnant and her being like, you know, I like her being like, you know, my bum ovary and his bum testicle, like, you know, like I think I did always like her and Steve, like, and I feel like an episode like this makes me be like, oh, we could have had it all. Similar to Harry, I feel like they wanted to show you like you can find love in like in the ordinary, like you don't have to look for like this idea of Mr. Perfect, because I think that's what we're supposed to expect Big to be, and it's like, and he's trash, so
he sucks,
you know.
Yeah.
So I did
Exactly.
always like Steve.
I love him.
Miranda, you're the one.
Yeah. With the tears in his eyes. He's so
Miranda.
emotional.
I know,
Miranda.
he's been waiting for her. I mean, it's just like, it's, you know, Miranda finally realizes, like, after she gets her LASIK, it's like she finally sees him for who he is. He's like, he's always been there. Steve has always been there. He's like a Volvo. He's always been there. He is reliable. You pick the Camry.
That's one hot Camry, though. I've always thought Steve was pretty hot. I like Steve. They kiss, and then Magda, of course, walks in and is like, where is cake? And the two of them are trying to cover up that they were just making out. And I love this, like, wry little look from Magda in her birthday hat. She knows. She wanted these two together so bad. Charlotte, of course, ends up showing up to the birthday party.
So
it's very, very sweet.
Also, Harry this episode is so
I know.
Yes.
I know.
Harry
He's a little
is
sweetie.
such a good husband, like, to her, and like being like letting her sort of show up the way that she needs to. It's just like really spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel the
agree.
same way when she shows up and Miranda looks at her. Then when is it Miranda who has a parent who dies and Samantha goes and
Yes.
I feel the same way as that scene, like when Miranda looks at Samantha and Samantha's like in the funeral crying.
Yeah.
Like it felt very like, you know, Charlotte's like, we all know this is hard for her, but it's like, you're still my friend, I'm going to show up for you.
As ridiculous as this show can be, there are moments like that regarding like female friendship in particular that you're like, it really resonates. It really does. Our narration from Carrie, we find out these two get their wish. 3 weeks later, they're back together. Okay, we have finally reached the
so
Alexander Petrovsky date. I love this like flapper dress on
It's
Carrie.
it's in Alberta Ferretti Fall 2003. I had to look up what the dress was. Yeah.
Fall 2003, that's when this episode came out. So they
Yeah.
must have... She must have...
Got it off the runway.
They are at the Russian samovar in, like, a private room. This is where, Jillian, as you said, like, she should have known. This is, like, the banter that I start being like, oh, this man would piss me off and I would end up walking out of here. Like, I understand that you want me to, like, take care in pronouncing your name correctly, but he starts, like, kind of picking on her, and it's weird. She can't say Alexander the way he wants, and then I do like this. He says, call me Bob. But this pisses me off. So she's, like, trying to make conversation, and he has yet to ask her a thing about herself.
Yeah.
And she says, so I'm a writer for a newspaper. I write a column. And she seems like very proud and pleased with herself. And he just says, congratulations. What the fuck?
Like he just...
Carrie decides to sort of prompt him into talking about Studio 54 and is like, I had to take a little disco nap to prepare for this. And he is like not interested in talking about Studio 54, is very blasé about it, is like, what is there even to say? Martha Graham's face, Andy Warhol's wig. Buddy.
So these are the things where I'm like, oh, he's already on my nerves.
I know.
I know.
Like, be more fun.
Meanwhile, back at Samantha's apartment, Smith is disappointed that Samantha doesn't have pubic hair anymore because the big reveal is that she got rid of it. And she is almost on the cusp of being honest with Smith about this, and I feel like he wouldn't care at all. But instead, she decides to berate him because she's feeling insecure. Alexander's talking about how he loves New York because it's honest and dark and painful. And Carrie's like, we need to lighten the mood. Don't you know a joke? There is banana in your purse? Or you're just very happy to see me?
She's like, she's like, he's so funny.
I mean, it's pretty good. She did ask for a joke. The cab pulls away with her purse still in it.
Yes.
And I love this moment because this is the moment where even though this man is 53 and is maybe quote unquote too old for Carrie, he can still beautifully leap this garbage can because he is a very accomplished ballet dancer, obviously Mikhail Baryshnikov.
Yeah, that's the moment where you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I can see it, maybe. He retrieves Carrie's purse with the banana. They go see the artist and have some giggles, and I love this. I love that she's looking at them with this, again, like similar, it's like kind of mirrors the Magda moment where she's like, I know what you two are up to. But they end up having a pretty hot makeout at the end, and he tasted like the black cherries in his tea, and I know Caroline goes absolutely feral for this gift.
Well, because when he kisses the hand first, and then it's against the wall. It's against the wall push is like.
Sometimes a good makeout is all you need. Like sometimes you just literally like. I was telling my friend the other day because like I re-downloaded the apps and I was like, I'm not even trying to hook up. I just like want to go and flirt and make out with someone against a wall.
Just for the makeout. Makeouts need to come back. Like not.
I know.
Like, I just want to
good
kiss
makeout.
you.
What's nice about a makeout too? It's like we don't need to rush immediately to sex. Like let the anticipation build. Like, let us have a moment of just like what that's like to feel them.
Yeah, and I feel like even sometimes when I am making out with someone and they're like, and I'm like, relax.
Yeah.
Don't whip that thing out. Don't whip that thing out. Keep down your pants. Chill out, brother. We're not there yet.
Yeah,
Chill out.
Cut my boob a little bit.
Yeah, like
Come on.
you just grab me through my clothes,
brakes.
keep them in, like just a little booty rub. Like relax. I just met you, sir. I wish there was like a category on dating apps that was like casual, but not necessarily trying to fuck yet. Like, I just need that.
I know.
Because when you put short-term or casual, they just assume that you want to sleep with them that night. It's like, bro, I don't even know you.
No.
I just want to make out and go on a date. Category is want to go on dates and make out.
And then you have to filter out the couples looking for a third. That's
Jesus
all.
Christ. Jesus Christ.
They're all in there.
And the thing is, it's less the couples looking for a third. It's that the woman's always hot and the man is not. I know. Please. So you're like to the woman, you're like, well, of course you're open. Because why? Why are you doing this, woman? It is crazy. You know, it is truly crazy. So yes, when people have started saying, what do I want? I'm looking to go on dates and have fun. I might start putting go on dates and make out.
Hot makeout summer. Hot makeout summer.
Hot makeout summer. Yes.
We love it. We want it. We're asking for it.
So any final thoughts about this episode other than that we are going to have a hot makeout summer?
I forgot that all this other stuff happened in this episode when I picked it, and I feel like it's a very good like time capsule of the show because I feel like you get so much of each character, and you also like get. I think it's actually just like a really beautiful episode.
Agreed.
Just for just like even like some of the like the dynamics of like Samantha and Smith, like, you know, like just getting older. But it also made me be like, yeah, she was never gonna be with Alexander. Like, this wasn't gonna work.
No.
Not in the long run.
Yeah.
Certainly not.
I'll say Carrie's a really good friend this episode.
She
Like,
is.
This is one of her better friend episodes. It's like a great episode. This was like such a banger.
And it's like cute to see like, oh yeah, Steve and Miranda, like I forgot. I was like, oh yeah, they were broken up. And like, there's just so much stuff I forgot. And so it was like nice to be reminded of like where they were in even the middle of this final season.
Yeah, it's a great episode. I'm so glad that we revisited it. And Jillian, it was so amazing to have you. This was such a fun time. Jillian, if people want to find you, where can they find you?
Okay, you can find me on the internet at Curly Hair No Care on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, TikTok. And then I'm doing a solo show this June 18th at the Steppenwolf Theater in collaboration with Lookout. It's called Who All Gonna Be There? And it's basically like a culmination of all the stand-up I've been doing in Chicago for the past 10 years. So it's like my first stand-up solo special show that I'm filming and doing. June 18th, Who All Gonna Be There? Steppenwolf Lookout 1700 Theater. Thank you all for having me. I loved yapping. I could do this all day.
Thank you all so much for watching us, joining us for another Sex and the City original series recap. Thank you again to Jillian Ebanks, who we love. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on Instagram. Please tell your friends, like, subscribe, leave comments, yap with us, and we will be back with some more Sex and the City recaps with guests. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.